friend or troll. Okay, that is not my brother. So you can kiss my high yellow behind. I don't know why I've got so many damn trolls that are following me. My brother's name is Orondo, and you are not Orondo. So bye bye. Okay. Last week it was Katie calls it. So now we got Orondo Holmes. I got to tell you, I guess you have made it when you start seeing all the fake people that are out there. So forgive me for being a little bit late on here. I had a little issue with my Vimeo getting started, and then the whole system had to be rebooted. So we've rebooted it, and now we're hopefully okay. And hopefully you all on Facebook are out there as well. And let's see if I am back online. So it's saying 34 seconds, but I do not see anything on the stream. Let me refresh it. So comment if you're still there. There's Rashid. How you doing, Rashid? Okay, there we go. We are back up and running. Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business. The football gods, they're awake. They've been awake all day. So, it's been another crazy Friday. Thank God it is the weekend. We have Antonio Brown has left the building. That's right. Antonio Brown has been released by the New England Patriots, and I, for one, am happy about that because you know what? I can't stand to have somebody who is a me person, and quite honestly, I think he needs to get checked for CTE. There's something wrong with him. Here's how crazy this fool is. Just think about this for a second. Think about this. A few months ago, he had $30 million guaranteed. $30 million. Think about what has been left in his wake, okay? The Steelers have $21 million in dead money, the most ever in the history of football. The Raiders give up a third and a fifth to him. For him. They released him and were able to basically cut bait. L4G, thank you very much for that super chat.
L4G, thank you very much for that super chat. I appreciate that. You my dog. I know I missed some other super chats here between the system rebooting, but I'm sorry, I'll go back to them.
Miss Jackie, how you doing tonight? Keep these fools in line. If you see an Orondo Holmes, it's not my brother, okay? So it's a fake somebody acting like my brother, just like we had a fake Katie calls it. I guess that's how you know you've made it, because you got trolls in here. There are probably some idiots out there that have been blocked that I've actually disgraced, and they still want to get back in here. I can't understand it, because I get people that email me on a daily basis that tell me I'm a freaking idiot. You're stupid. Okay. What does that make you if I'm stupid and you watch? I guess you're even dumber and obsessed. But anyway, I digress. So then, Antonio Brown goes to New England, where he had $9 million guaranteed. Well, New England, they don't play that shit. Looks like they have an out clause, so he'll only get $133,000. Now, mind you, I'd be happy with that. That'd be good for a whole year for me. But as far as having $30 million to $133, you, Antonio Brown, are a freaking idiot. With all this stuff that is coming out about him, listen, people, pay your bills. Pay your bills, or at least work something out. Don't try and screw people over. Don't. It's ridiculous, because it sounds like somebody who's had all of this money is screwing people over and paying them. Had you just paid the woman $700 for the charity for the picture and paid her the $2,000 for the mural, you wouldn't be out $30 million. You stupid. Get your brain examined. And I hope that nobody, unless it's the Eagles, sign him. Because I tell you what, he is one of those players that destroys a team. I will take an Amari Cooper over him anytime. Now understand that there's a lot of people that have a lot of talent. And we always look and say, man, that guy's got a lot of talent. I want that guy. But see, you got to understand there's a difference between being talent and being a teammate. And you got to understand, not one guy makes a team. It's 11 guys working together. 11 guys fully focused on being the best and having each other's back. is hell to beat. But you can't rely on just one guy who's a me guy who, when he doesn't get his way, is going to pout and want to go elsewhere. That's why I don't want Jalen Ramsey. I know Tom Coughlin's not the easiest guy to get along. I've heard stories about him having microphones in the locker room because he is a control freak. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He is a control freak. But you got to understand, you're getting $30 million guaranteed. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, not Jalen Smith. But actually, they've basically backed up the truck for him right now. So understand, it's the game you got to play. And this whole new generation where guys get their feelings hurt because they are hard on them in practice. Come on, man. Come on. Are you a football player or are you a football player? I'm just checking to see if we got this. I guess we are not. Okay, I'll have to work on that later. It's just crazy in my mind. I just don't understand how these guys, or what these guys are thinking. But on to my Dallas Cowboys. Some good news we have with Xavier Woods. Xavier lays the woods. Apparently, he's not as bad off as what they first thought. They are thinking that he is actually maybe only miss one game, which would be phenomenal because, let's face it, we are thin at safety. So they even said there's a possibility, but no, he's out. But with us playing, oh, here we go. Let's see. Hang on one second. Just give me 1 second here. Okay. All right, so just bear with me 1 second here. And I will be up on Facebook as well. There we go. One of these days, I am going to get this stuff together, and I'm going to end up having it right. So I think I actually got it now on Facebook, so shout out to everybody who's on Facebook. I'm a little bit late, but you know what? That's the way we roll up in here. So Xavier Woods isn't as bad as we thought. We originally heard that he was 4 to 6 weeks away. Thank God it's not 4 to 6. They're thinking that it may be just 1 week. And this may be fortunate for us to be able to have this game with the Miami Dolphins. Now make no mistake, we're 21-point favorites. The Miami Dolphins have decided we're just going to tank the season. We don't give a rat's ass about the season. We're going to go ahead and try and get as many draft picks. We're going to dump as many salaries and all that. We do not want to win. We want the number one pick, okay? Adam is getting a new number, a new phone number. Okay, I'm not sure why we're talking about a phone number. Okay, I would love Adam on our team. Oh my God. Okay. When the Eagles spread them out, love to see a linebacker playing covered over Pollard. Oh, we're gonna get to the Eagles here in a few minutes. Here, the Eagles are about to hit probably the most important 6 days of the season right now, but we'll talk about that later. But we are banged up because we do have 6 guys that are out for this game. Xavier Woods is out, and that's where we're thin is wide receiver. We have Tyrone Crawford, who has had surgery on his hip. His hip itself is flaring up, and so is the other one. He's got bursitis in both of them. They think he'll be okay by New Orleans, but see, here's the thing that I kind of told you about Philadelphia, is when you start getting older, you start having more aches and pains. Your body only has so many hits in it. So you have to start worrying about older guys. And that's where the Eagles are right now because they've got the Deshaun Jackson. They got the Fletcher Cox. They've got the Jason Peters, guys that are getting long the tooth that have had a lot of hits on their body. And when they get banged up, they can't make it through or get healed up quite as fast as they used to. I can attest to that being an old ass that my body is just not the same. When I go in the truck for about an hour, it takes me quite a few steps before I can get myself together where I can walk again. So understand that that's where these guys are right now. And I'm just trying to check one more time and see if I got this up and running right. On Vimeo. And of course, we have perpetually injured Trayvon Austin. Austin is still in the concussion protocol. He is an incredible player when he is healthy, but the problem is he just can't seem to stay healthy and stay on the field. Um, Hopefully, he'll be ready by next week. We'll have to wait and see on that one as we go. We got Michael Gallup. This is the one that you really hurts. Okay, 2 to 4 weeks meniscus cleanup. They've already done the surgery on it. They said that went well. So hopefully he'll be back in 2 to 4 weeks. And of course we have one of my Bruise brothers, Antoine Woods, is also dealing with an ankle sprain. So you miss that guy inside as well. Now, the good thing for us is we have a Kerry Hyder who can go, Hyder, excuse me, Kerry Hyder who can play inside, he can play outside. And also, too, we are getting Robert Quinn back just in time for him to play against his former teammates, the Miami Dolphins. And it was kind of interesting because when he was asked about his teammates, former teammates, of course, he kind of chuckled a bit and basically was kind of like, well, they've kind of changed a whole lot, so I don't necessarily know that many of the guys anymore. So there's that. This will be almost like a practice game. Now, Marcelo B, though, here's the thing. Don't sleep on these guys because here's the thing. These guys, I forgot to do one other thing on here. These guys, as Amari Cooper put it, are professionals as well. And as he put it, when we were a bad team, a la being on the Raiders, um, people would say we're a bad team, but we don't see ourselves as that. And understand, you're playing the Dallas Cowboys. If you are the Miami Dolphins, you want to go ahead and beat the Dallas Cowboys. You want to be the guys that knock them off the high horse. Because after all you've done heard all week long, this is a JV game. The Miami Dolphins can't beat a college team. This is just practice for the Dallas Cowboys. And you know what? That's the most dangerous type of team to play because you're talking about a team that's got nothing to lose. You better come in there with your chin strap buttoned up. You better be ready to go ahead and play. And this is one of those times, again, like I said the first 2 weeks, you want to send a message to the NFL that the Dallas Cowboys are the real deal. You want to put fear in the opposition. You want to leave no doubt that the Dallas Cowboys are the real freaking deal. I don't believe that Randy Gregory's filed for reinstatement yet. I agree with you, Devon. I've been looking and looking and looking, and I cannot find anything that says he has refiled for it. So that makes me wonder, is there a problem that he's worried about and things like that? Because we've seen the NFL. The NFL is kinder and gentler right now because they're trying to get this collective bargaining agreement done. So that's why they didn't do anything with Zeke. That's why they didn't do anything with Tyreek Hill. They're being the buddies to the NFL players. You know that. Jerry Jones, they're working the same. And FYI, we're getting little bits and pieces of some of the stuff that's going on. So the NFL owners don't like situations like Zeke Elliott being able to hold out or Melvin Gordon. So they're going to be able excuse me, to increase the fines on the players to make it harder for them to hold out. That's right. Yeah, Joseph, I have to agree with you. I think Gregory may have relapsed, but I will say this. Here's reason number one why you don't release him. Because I think, again, with this collective bargaining agreement, I think the NFL is going to go ahead and say, you know what, we're not going to test for marijuana anymore. You watch. Because, see, that is the bone that they're going to toss to the NFLPA because they know We're about to get a whole lot more money because of gambling, because now we're going to be doing live streaming of games, so we're going to get another partner. And even through the anthem protest, even through CTE and all that stuff, guess what? Salary cap kept going up. And if the salary cap kept going up, there's a reason why. It's because they are increasing the revenue. So when that salary cap went up $10 million a team, multiply that by 32, okay? And basically, it's almost a 50-50 split between the NFL owners and the players. Multiply that by 2. So you're talking about 600 million. I can't even say it. $600 million increase last year over this year. So when you end up getting Yahoo Sports or Google or YouTube or Facebook or one of those guys that say, you know what, NFL, we're going to give you a big chunk of change because we want to be able to stream those games on Thursday nights. That's more money along with all the gambling. Notice how NFL Network, ESPN, Fox Sports now all have gambling shows telling you the line. Notice that the Redskins are talking about moving closer to the MGM Grand, that Jerry Jones is spending $225 million on a casino in Arkansas because the salary cap is about to explode. There's going to be so much new money that it's going to be crazy. And this is why the Dallas Cowboys are smart to get ahead of the game and get these guys locked up long term. Anthony, I think you are right about AB. I think he's got CTE as well. There's something wrong. That dude's elevator is not going right through there. I almost think of him like, okay, you think of him being a late round draft pick. Yeah, Amazon does too, right? Because they already had All or Nothing. You saw, that was the big promotion.
And they did Thursday night games too.
And then Thursday night games, right? So yeah, Amazon, of course.
Amazon's the one gonna get it.
Everybody wants football. Okay. I tell you what AB reminds me of. He reminds me of Dennis Rodman. Think about him not being a high round draft pick. He was, what, 7th round, 6th round draft pick. He was kind of a nobody, but became really, really good. Kind of like Dennis Rodman. And Dennis Rodman got a little bit out there, got a little bit crazy, and that seems to be AB. That he ended up, Joseph, damn. You just killed me on that one, dude. You just killed me on that one, Joseph. It's so funny that you say that. I'm going to tell you what happens. I'm an idiot. I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm an idiot. Okay? Calais Campbell, when he was in Arizona, became a free agent. I said, if there's one guy to go get, because see, understand, I'm a former defensive lineman. I believe that the team wins from the lines out, offensive line, defensive line. If you have that 800-pound gorilla in the middle, okay, quarterbacks do not like pressure in front of them. They don't. They see that guy. He's that close, okay? You got the center. You got this guy who is literally breathing fire that can get to you. That scares the piss out of you. See, the defensive ends, they got a long way to go. They're fast, but you can step up in the pocket. You can try and go in the other direction. But when that guy's in your face, that shortens that pocket. That means it gives more time for those defensive ends to get to you. It scares them. When you have that big guy in the middle who can get that pressure, he's getting double teams, which means your linebackers are clean, okay? They're able to scrape and make plays like the defense is designed. If that guy, that 300-pound gorilla, is in the middle there getting that push where that quarterback has to hurry and make that pass, those D-backs don't have to hold up for 2 seconds. It makes every single level together. And I said, get Calais Campbell. People laughed at me. You're an idiot. He's too old, too expensive. He only gets like 7, 8 sacks a season. That'd be a waste of money. Ha ha ha, you're a freaking idiot. He went to Jacksonville, had, I believe, 13 and a half sacks, runner-up MVP, and you saw what he did last night, didn't you? Imagine had we had that kind of push on that defensive line. I wanted him. I kept talking about it, and everybody kept saying, why do you keep talking about Calais Campbell? Oh my God, you're making me sick. It's all you talk about is Calais Campbell. And I kept saying, listen, this guy is the real deal. This guy is a difference maker. And I know from personal experience, he's a solid dude. So I agree with you. I would love to have Calais Campbell on the defensive line, but unfortunately, now it's too late. Calais Campbell, he's in the twilight of his career. He's still good, but not like you want to stick with young guys, and that's the good thing about our team versus when you look at teams like say the Eagles. Um, to me, for all you Eagle fans, I know I got Eagles. Although the Eagles have slowed down, you guys aren't coming in quite as strong as you used to. Are you Eagles fans? You guys have slowed down a little bit because you guys listened to all the talking heads that said that you're the best built team in football. Oh my God, Super Bowl favorites to win the NFC East. And I kept saying, but wait a minute. Didn't we kick y'all's ass twice last year? Didn't I say we beat y'all twice last year? Didn't I say Carson Wentz was overrated because Carson Wentz was only 5-6? Now here it is. And didn't I say that you guys took a different path than what we did? The Dallas Cowboys got young. They are within the top 10 youngest teams in the NFL. But not only young, they're experienced. Our rookie class last year had over 3,600 snaps. That's a lot for a rookie class. The Eagles, they keep trading for older guys. They keep signing free agents. They're skilled. They're talented when they're all on the field. But they're old. So when you have a Deshaun Jackson who pulls a groin, when you have an Alshon Jeffries that gets hurt, when you got a Fletcher Cox who's a little banged up, it takes longer to recover. And I said, Philly, don't you lose my number because I'm going to be calling you. I'm going to be calling you when the shit hits the fan, Philly, and you know I'm going to be calling you. Dallas, Portman, listen, they don't. You think that? Wait. You think that the Philadelphia Eagles players actually get up because I say we beat them twice? Do you really and truly believe that the Philadelphia Eagles, that I make a difference on motivating them? Yeah, I wish I had that kind of. I wish I had that kind of power. But here's the problem for the Eagles. The Eagles, and I'm not making light of being injured because I want to beat them full strength. I don't want excuses. But you can see already that the Eagles are making excuses about their season because they're saying, well, Carson Wentz has got nobody to throw to now. They're banged up. It's funny. We got told that, well, Dak has to have people around him. Well, apparently, I guess Carson Wentz got to have people around him too, doesn't he? But here's the problem for them. 1 o'clock game against the Detroit Lions. I know, you're laughing right now. I know, it's hard to believe, but think about this. The Detroit Lions right now have a defense. The Detroit Lions, they ended up getting a tie against the Arizona Cardinals. I know, 24-24. Okay, I get that. Arizona sucks. But they only gave up 10 points to Phillip Rivers. They only gave up 10 points to Phillip Rivers. They ended up beating the Chargers 13-10. Now, I'm not saying that the Lions will beat them, but I think they got a chance because the Lions have a defense right now, and I think the Eagles are going to have a hard time scoring. The Eagles have been great playing from behind in the second half. They're not playing well in the first half. They're taking time to get started, and that worked against the Redskins. Didn't work against Atlanta. And if you guys think that Atlanta's a good team, I'm sorry, Atlanta Falcons are not a good team. They had 3 turnovers. You get 3 turnovers in the NFL, you're supposed to be blowing people away. It's not supposed to go down to the last possession. Outer Life, I am doing beautiful, man. I am living the dream. I am happy that week 3 is here. It's the weekend. My daughter will be here tomorrow, so I'll get to spend some time with her. And, of course, I'll get to go to Lucky's. The game is not televised, at least not here on the East Coast. So we're going to be at Lucky's Sports Bar on Sunday, live streaming the game. So come on down, eat some chicken wings and stuff, be part of the show, give me your thoughts, and maybe we'll do some giveaways while we're there as well. And Joseph, I haven't forgot about, Joseph has actually donated $100 gift certificate to Fathead, and I got to start doing some drawings and stuff together. I've just been so busy. It's been hard to keep up with everything that's going on. Life has just been crazy, to say the least. So, the Eagles then turn around, who could not practice on Wednesday because they did not have enough players. They have to turn around and play on Thursday night against Green Bay. So that means they got to play on Sunday. Because it's a short week, they need to practice on Monday and Tuesday and travel Wednesday. Or maybe not practice on Monday and Tuesday because they're broke up. And then play the Packers. This is a tough stretch right now for the Eagles. If they can get through it, they get 10 days off, and then they have the Jets, and then the Jets, and then they have the Vikings and us. So it's going to be a tough stretch for the Eagles. So Eagles, you better be ready, and you got some tough times ahead of you. Now, that's not to say our Dallas Cowboys don't have tough times, because we are going to go through some stretches. We are blessed to actually have our lighter part of the schedule early, where we can get our legs underneath of us and hopefully get a lead going up, because the second part of the season gets to be a little tougher. Don't think I pulled it up. Did I pull it up? Let's see. Let's take a quick look at our remaining schedule. Bam. Okay, so here's where sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So we started out, of course, with the Giants and Redskins. Getting 2 wins in the division is always huge. We get the Dolphins, who are tanking on purpose. Okay? You got to love that. Then we get the Saints without Drew Brees. Don't sleep on the Saints. Teddy Bridgewater, we were told Teddy Bridgewater, Bart Scott would take him over Dak Prescott. And by that time, he's had a couple of games underneath of him, and they may have recovered. So don't sleep on that game. But then we have the bad man, the Packers. That's going to be tough. Always tough playing Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the same guy. They actually have a better defense than offense right now. But then we got the Jets, and then we have the Eagles in Dallas. And that game is going to be huge. Then we have Giants. We have Vikings that have Kirk Cousins. Then we have the Lions. We got the Patriots. That's going to be the one that you want to circle. The Bills so far are 2-0. You don't know what they're going to be by that time. We got the Bears that don't look anything like last year's Bears. We got the rematch against the Rams. We got the Eagles, and then the Redskins. It doesn't look as bad as when you first looked at it. You were thinking that the Vikings were a killer team. You were thinking that the Bears were going to be a killer team as well. And you also thought about the Saints with Drew Brees. Those games aren't quite as bad as we thought they were going to be. I'm not saying that we're going to win those. I'm not saying we're going to be perfect, not by any stretch of the imagination. But you start looking at this and saying it's not as bad as it looked, say, a month ago. But don't sleep on it. Now, time for a little investigation here, guys. Yeah. I had to go to GW University today. And this morning before I left, listening to some of the shows, because I always listen to the shows. Shout out to everybody watching on Facebook. I finally got you guys into the mix. So if you're watching on Facebook, it's hard for me to keep an eye on 3 different pages on Facebook, seeing the comments. If you actually go to Jobu Sports Mark Holmes on YouTube, that's the big screen that I have in front of me, so that way I can actually see all the comments and things, and it's a little easier to get there. But we still have people that think that Dak Prescott is just a 2-game wonder. That it's just because he's got a great offensive line and wide receivers, everything is perfect for him. But understand that 2 games do not change all of the statistics for him. This is something that's been building since last year, since Amari Cooper got there. Along with Amari Cooper, we got rid of Paul Alexander. I don't think people are putting as much stock into that or realizing that as much as it is, because the offensive line in the first half of the season wasn't as good as the wide receiver core it wasn't as well. Okay? The offensive line under Paul Alexander, he tried to change to more of a zone blocking. And, when you get old dogs like Tyron Smith, you don't want to change that guy. That guy knows what he's doing. You could see that offensive line, even though we had guys injured, got back to playing better football. They weren't great against the Rams. Joe Looney got thrown around by Ndamukong Suh and all that stuff. It wasn't pretty, but you could see they got better. Even with, Xavier Salafalo, even with Joe Looney, even with, Connor Williams, who was undersized at that time and being a rookie. They got better, and all those things happened and made the team better. Now, here's the thing. Everybody still keeps talking about how good the Eagles are. The Eagles still a great team. I don't think that they are. They're living on that Super Bowl from 2 years ago, as well as Carson Wentz, where he had that beginning of the season before he got hurt, the MVP caliber play. Because if you take what he did last year and what he's done so far this year, it's 13 games. He's 6-7. Now I decided to go through and say, okay, let's just compare that rookie class when they came in, Wentz, Goff, and Dak. Let's look at the numbers, okay? And I did. I went through the numbers. I sat there because I had an hour and a half of time. I had my computer, had my cell phone with the calculator, and I looked up everybody's statistics for the last 13 games, because that's all we got to go by with Carson Wentz, because he only played 11 last year and 2 this year. So to be fair, we did the last 13 games of all 3 guys. And what I got, the way I did this, we did yards, we did games, we did TDs, interceptions, percentage rate, completion rate, rating, fumbles, and rushing TDs. And so each category that you ended up winning or tied with, you got to check. So for yardage wise, in those 13 games, or actually, let's go by record. Carson Wentz, 6-7. The only team that Carson Wentz has beat this year and last year that had a winning record was the Colts. And that was before the Colts turned it around. Teams that he's beaten, the Giants twice, the Redskins twice, the Jags, and I'm trying to remember the other one. They weren't notable. But those are the victories that Carson Wentz has had. Jared Goff, well, he's 10-3 and went to a Super Bowl. Not counting the playoffs, but he was 10-3. Dak, just like Goff, 10-3. So they both get a check. Yardage wise, Carson Wentz, 36-18. Jared Goff, 34-30. Uh-oh. Are we still there? It said lost my connection. Are we still on live? Hopefully we didn't have a brain fart. My thing said it lost connection, but I'm still seeing a green line on it. It's not going out. Okay. And Dak Prescott is actually in second with 35.98. Can you believe that Dak Prescott has thrown only 20 yards less than Carson Wentz in the last 13 games? It's kind of amazing, isn't it? But Carson Wentz, he gets the check there. Okay, I got to give it to him. He's thrown for more yards. Yardage per game, Carson Wentz, 278. Jared Goff, 263. Dak Prescott, 276. So Dak is only throwing a yard and a half behind Carson Wentz. TD passes. Carson Wentz gets his third check. 25 TD passes. Jared Goff, 22. Dak Prescott, 24. Okay. Interceptions. Carson Wentz with 9. Jared Goff with 9. Dak Prescott, only 5. Dak gets a check. Completion percentage, 68.83 for Wentz. That's great. Jared Goff stinks, 62.4. Dak leads them all with 72. QBR rating, 100.2 for Carson Wentz, 94 for Jared Goff. Dak Prescott, 108. 8 points higher than Carson Wentz. Fumbles, Carson Wentz that have been lost. Carson Wentz 6, Jared Goff 6, Dak 5. Rushing touchdowns, Carson Wentz 0, Jared Goff 3, Dak Prescott 6. Touchdown plays, passes of over 50 yards. Carson Wentz 9, Dak 9, Goff 6. So by going by this, Jared Goff has 1 check, Carson Wentz has 3, Dak has 7. You can look it up. You can look it up. That's my numbers. That's the calculations I went through. Seriously. I went through game by game statistics on all 3 of the guys, added it up, and that's what you get. So all of this stuff that, Dak Prescott, he's only been good for 2 games because Shannon Sharp said, well, he going to regress. I've been listening to Pro Football Focus, and you know those guys know what they talking about. That's what he said today. And I'm like, really? Didn't you say they knew what they were talking about when they said he was a tier 3 quarterback at best? Aren't those the same guys? Aren't those the same guys that you said know what they're talking about, that Dak Prescott is a tier 3 quarterback? Huh. Okay, Shannon. You know everything. You know everything. Now understand, Dak, because I get people that say, you only talk about Dak Prescott. You know, you're not a fan of the Cowboys. You're just a fan of Dak. You're doing a disservice to the Dallas Cowboys because all you talk about Dak. Well, you know what? Dak Prescott is a quarterback. Dak Prescott is the guy who is getting shortchanged on a contract. When stiffs out there are making $25, $28 million like Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, who does what Kirk Cousins always does, which is throw a freaking pick at the end of the game instead of winning the game. He loses it. He loses it. We got a guy that ain't made $2 million in the NFL who's kicking ass. And he is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, who is the most probably endorsed player in the NFL right now. So, of course, I'm going to talk about him. But he's not doing this all by himself. He is part of a great system right now, a system that has finally been waking up. If you're Scott Linehan right now, you just want to slap yourself and say, why didn't I do this play action? Because the Dallas Cowboys are now using play action more than anybody else, 43% of the time. Before, we were only using about 21% of the time, one of the lowest in the NFL. But here's the thing. You got Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott is the engine that drives this machine. And by the way, Zeke Elliott is starting out the season better than he usually does. Usually it's about the 3rd game of the season before he gets going. Right now he's got more yards in the first 2 games than he has in his whole career. So Zeke Elliott is eating. But understand, when you have a dynamic back like Zeke, okay, and you have a great offensive line, and you have 5 offensive linemen and a tight end, and you got Zeke Elliott back there, you're worried about him running because he can go in the house. So that means that maybe I got to put 8 men in the box. And so when you do play action, it's not just just a bit more. It's doubling the amount of times we're doing play action. And we're doing rollouts where Dak Prescott is really good. Because, see, here's what you got to understand. You may have a system that works with a certain set of guys, and you take that to another team, and you say, well, this is my system. But you may not have the same guys there to run that system. You may have to change up and say, well, I like to be able to throw the deep ball, but he's not a deep passer. So I'm going to go ahead and do a West Coast offense with a Joe Montana and get the guy's ball in space. So that way they can end up taking it to the house. And here he comes. Boom. Wow. The West Coast offense. You can be a Joe Gibbs who comes from Air Coryell, who was the original modern offense where they never ran the ball. They were throwing to everybody, using tight ends and everything. He goes to Washington, it's like, I get Joe Theismann. He can't throw the ball deep like that. I don't have the receivers to do that. I got a big offensive line. I got a slow, big, bruising back in John Riggins. Let me go ahead and figure out a way to use that guy. And he comes up with the one-back offense and wins 3 Super Bowls with it. You can have a system, but you got to understand, listen, Dak Prescott is better on the move. Dak Prescott is better at hitting the open man. He's different than what Tony Romo was. Tom Landry recognized that with Tony Dorsett. Tom Landry was very disciplined. This is the hole that you run in. This is the way we're designing it to go. Tony Dorsett would go, yeah, but I see daylight over here. I can bend it back and make that hole, because he was fast enough to do that. And it would drive Tom Landry crazy. It's like, but this is the hole right here. But it's like, I see daylight over here where I can get to and take it to the house. And so Tom Landry realized, Tony Dorsett, and he said to his team, Tony is not like any other running back that we have. Tony is going to run to daylight. So you take your blocks the way it's designed, you hold him up, and he's going to find the crease, and he's going to go. That's using what you have. And that is what Scott Linehan never understood. His whole thing was, we're going to bludgeon teams to death with Zeke Elliott in the offensive line. We're just going to run the ball straight ahead, first down every time, and then we'll do something. But Kellen Moore is a young guy. Man, screw them old people. Running, we ain't just going to be a running team. We got a whole bunch of people. Let's pass the ball around. Let's run some Zeke. Let's run some Tony Pollard. Let's run some play action when they start trying to get on that. Let's take Dak Prescott. We'll run him from time to time, let him go for 40 yards. We'll let him get outside and go ahead and hit an open man. We'll use Jason Witten. We'll use Blake Jarwin. We'll hit Randall Cobb. We'll hit Amari Cooper. We'll hit Michael Gallup. We'll use Trevon Austin. It's a nightmare at the moment for defenses because the offensive line is healthy. And you have so many different ways to go. You cannot stop it. You have to keep your head on a swivel, and you got to be in 2 places at once. And as long as the Dallas Cowboys can stay healthy with the offensive line and give the quarterback time, and make no mistake about it, it's everything. It's the triplets. It's Zeke Elliott being able to run the football. It is Amari Cooper as well as Michael Gallup when he gets back, and Randall Cobb being able to catch the ball. When Dak Prescott knows, I'm going to fire that ball at this spot, he's going to be there. It's not going to be the invasion of the body catcher, Terrence Williams, who's going to let it bounce off his body and end up being a pick six. He has trust in his receivers and knows that they're going to be exactly where they're going to be. It's not Des Bryant, whose routes weren't disciplined, where you're throwing to a spot and I'm 3 yards off. That's not to say that Des Bryant wasn't a great receiver. He was. He was a physical receiver that him and Tony Romo could be like sandlot football. They could make it up. Tony Romo could buy time, and he would throw where Des is going at the moment. But Dak Prescott is a timing route guy. He's going to know where you're supposed to be, and if you're not there, then it's going to be fucked up. Adrian, I'm with you on Dak Prescott. I missed that. What's up, Cowboys Nation? Joshua, how you doing? Dave, how you doing? Tom, Jasper. Colin, I did. Who would have thought the Cowboys could sign D-Law, Jalen, Collins, Zeke, Cooper, Byron? Well, we haven't signed Byron and Dak yet, but they will get. Well, actually, let me hold up on Byron. Let me hold up on Byron just yet. They will get Dak signed. I think actually what they're going to be doing with Byron Jones is they want to see. In the same way, after Marcus Lawrence had his one monster season, they ended up making him wait another year just to see, is he that guy? Because the Cowboys got burned by a lot of guys after one season. And I think that that's stuck with the Dallas Cowboys because think about this. Think about, Miles Austin. Miles Austin always had issues with hamstrings, but he had one great season with him. And the Cowboys gave him a big extension. And then he came back to having hamstring issues. You could look at Terrence Newman. Terrence Newman had a great season and stuff. They locked him to a big contract. And then he kind of fell off. Now, he played well for the Bengals and for Minnesota, played for years and stuff. He just couldn't stay healthy for the Cowboys. You could look at Marion Barber. Marion Barber, they paid him a $35 million extension, which in 2007 was incredible. And he was a part-time player. So I think with Byron Jones, they're going to wait a little bit. They're going to wait till see is he really the real deal? Because really you got 3/4 of a great season. The time before that with him being shifted from safety to cornerback, you kind of looked at it and said, not real sure. So they're going to go ahead and take their time on that one, but they'll get Dak and stuff done. If Dak gets paid, a bundle of haters shouldn't be mad because they say he sucks. It's not their money. Oscar, that's a great point because you would think that it's money coming out of their pocket, and we've been told it's so amazing to me, all of the stuff that we have been told. I guess we should stop eating over here. We've been told so many falsehoods by the media. It's crazy because we were told that you can't sign everybody. If you sign Dak Prescott, you can't sign Zeke. You can't sign Amari. Well, okay, all right, if you say so. But they've been able to sign these guys and still have money to spare. You look at some of these other teams that don't have jack for talent, like the Redskins and the Giants, and we've got more money than they do. You can do these things if you want to. They'll get Dak Prescott's deal done, but Dak Prescott's deal is probably going to be a longer deal, and the numbers are going to be higher. He will be the highest paid per year. But we've done that with DeMarcus Lawrence. We've done that with Zeke Elliott. But you spread it out if you believe that that is the guy. And from everything you've gotten from Dak Prescott, the guy stays healthy. He takes care of his body. He's built tough. And you look at it and say, yeah, he's going to be around for 4 or 5 years without a doubt. Otter Life, I'm not, here's what I would like to do on this game. I'm not worried about getting, running up the score. I just want to get a win. And I want to get out healthy. I'm not interested in putting Zeke out there for any longer than we need to. Let's go ahead, get out there, get a lead and stuff, and let's let the second team get some experience and stuff out there. Let's get the starters out of there because we need these guys for the long haul. We got the Saints the following week, and I know they don't have Drew Brees, but make no mistake, that defense, my buddy DeMario Davis, he's coming for you. That guy ain't giving up on the season. That defense and the rest of that team is thinking, we got to hold serve while we wait for our general to get back. And you're looking at a caged animal that's going to come out and they're going to punch your ass in the mouth. They're still remembering how it was last year. So don't think that we automatically going to get a win in New Orleans because it's not like that. Wentz has bird feet. He's got bird legs, man. Have you seen well, you can't really see the calves on him. Dude has got bird legs, and I can see why his knee got jacked up. Dak makes yeah, but Joseph, that ain't got nothing to do with paying me for my day job. It's low Navy. 8 years. 8 years, 37 million, 200 million guaranteed. I don't know if you'll get 200 million guaranteed. I'd say you get 120 guaranteed. How much are Power 4 shirts? They are, I'll tell you what. The shirts are about $20, but I'll tell you what we'll do right now. Wait. What we will do right now, where is it? We will do a discount. DAC 4. doing this right now until October 1st. It'll be 20% off. So if you go DAC 4, you get 20% off on the shirts. How about that? That cool? What I've got is, and here's what's cool, is I'm an idiot. I know it's hard to believe. I am an idiot. And I've gotten Brian from SoCal, one of our admin here. He has done some great work, some great designs and stuff for me. But I don't know how to render them where I can take the background stuff off. So I have another person who's actually taking the background off and setting them up so that way I can do some shirts. So we're going to be doing a whole bunch of different ones. We're going to have Joe Boo's Day Job, which it's the bomb. That one is the bomb. We got the Cow Patty one that's coming. We've got Joe Boo's Purge Squad and a couple other different designs as well. So, and we're going to be doing them in different colors. So they'll be gray, they'll be blue, they'll be white, and all that. So, yeah, uppercase DAC 4. That's it. Say it ain't so, Mark. What? Say what isn't so, Joseph? What am I saying that isn't so? Oh my goodness, it's 10 o'clock. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. Here's what I got to do. I would go into overtime, but we have a good friend of ours who went through a divorce, but she has a new man, and we actually are going to meet them after I get finished here. So my wife was like, "Oh, we got to go see such and such," and I'm like, I got my show tonight, right?" She's like, "You're kidding, right?" I said, "No, I missed it. I missed it on Monday for Adrian Peterson. I'm not missing another one. I kept my fans I got to take care of." And so I said, "We can go after that." She was like, "Okay." So I have to go get changed so we can go over and meet them for a late dinner. It's only 7. Well, it's 10 o'clock here, and then I got to pick up my daughter at 6 a.m. in Baltimore. So no rest for the weary. So,
No, I got something to show you after you.
okay, all right, guys. With that being said, it's time for me to turn off the lights. This party's over, and remember, I'll be at Lucky's on Sunday, so drop on by. I'll see you guys soon.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and
She
next
gets in at
year
6:45.
starts the same old thing again.